Drawing Insects and Animals, Art Lesson with Ms. Boley. So what are we doing? Well, we've already drawn up our drawings of a bee, a butterfly, a spider, and now we're going to be doing a bat. And we've gone over the why are we doing this, but we'll go over it one more time. So we're trying to do our best to draw from observation and develop the eyes of an artist. So I've provided some reference images for us to look at while we're drawing. We're trying to make our drawings look more realistic by using contrast, which means dark and light colors beside each other together, shading, and overlapping. And we're trying to show our understanding of symmetry through our artwork. And that works really well for a bat, you guys will see. And we're showing what we know about insects and animals through our drawings, through our artwork. So what are we going to need? We're going to need the reference image of a bat to look at. We're going to need a piece of paper or our visual journals. We're going to need a pencil, an eraser, and something to add color. So it could be pencil crayons or markers or whatever you have available at home. And a pencil sharpener is nice to have as well, especially if you're using pencil crayons. All right. So just another review of some of those vocabulary words. So shading, where we have a color going from dark to light to try to show more depth in our artwork. When we have overlapping, something in front of something else. Contrast, when we have something very dark and something very light. And symmetry, where we have something that is a mirror image on both sides, or the same but reversed on both sides. Okay, so let's get started on drawing our bat. So here's the picture I'm using as a reference. You can see it on Google Classroom, so you can see it more larger on your screen. So I'm going to start with my paper in landscape, so it's side to side. And I'm going to start by drawing a light line of symmetry down the middle. And this picture of the bat is not perfectly symmetrical because it is flying through the sky, but it's mostly symmetrical. So I'm going to start by doing a curved line in the middle of my page, and then a longer curved line. So I'm kind of making an oval that's like kind of squished down on the top. So this is going to be the bat's body. Okay, so curved line on the top, longer curved line on the bottom. And now I'm going to do that same shape. It's kind of like a semicircle sort of, but smaller inside of that bigger shape I drew. And that's going to be the bat's head. So now I'm going to do two big, long, pointy oval shapes coming out of that small shape, and that's going to be the bat's head, the bat's ears. All right, so two ears, and I've drawn a kind of a double line on top of the ear, because it sort of looks like the bat's ears are a little bit folded over at that part. So now two little ovals underneath the ears, and those are going to be the bat's eyes. And then I'm drawing kind of like a sideways, or you can't see because my hand's in the way, but a sideways oval for the bat's nose. And I'm going to draw two little nostrils because that's kind of what I see in the picture. And then the bat's mouth kind of looks just like a kind of a, not a straight line, but a line that curves up just a little bit on the sides. All right. I'm going to draw inside the bat's ears two long sort of shapes with almost a little flare out on the bottom. And now I'm going to draw the bat's legs. So just one kind of long, skinny oval shape and another long skinny oval shape, and that one was a little bit shorter, as I saw in the reference picture. And now there's kind of this, like, I guess it's like, I don't know if it's a tail or what. So I'm drawing a line down kind of exactly where the line of symmetry is, and then I've connected that to 2 lines on either side of the bat's legs. So you can kind of see that little tail thing there at the bottom. So now I'm going to draw the wing. So I'm starting by doing a big diagonal line and then more of a horizontal line. So a big diagonal line, horizontal, and then just down a little tiny bit. And that's the shape I'm kind of seeing. Looks like there's a little point right there on the reference image. And then it looks like there's some lines coming down, sort of to make the webbing of the bat's wing. So there will be kind of a curved line over to the edge of the bat's wing, and then curved and down, and then just down. So there we go. Those are the webbing. I think those are kind of like the bat's bones, and then the webbing goes in between. So same thing, I'm trying to make a symmetrical wing on the other side. So diagonal line, horizontal, down. And this wing was slightly different than the other one. It had this little shape like that. So it has kind of a line coming sideways and up. Okay, and then I'm going to do those webbing skeleton type lines now. So sort of diagonal, diagonal and down, and then one that's just kind of straight down and inwards a little bit. So it looks kind of like the bat has these big claws. Now I need to do these bumpy lines underneath the bat's wing on the bottom to connect those skeleton bones together, those bones together. Okay, so there's a bump, another bump, and another bump. Okay, and that's the bottom of my bat's wing. I'm going to repeat that same thing on this side. So bump, another bump, and a third bump. Okay, and that's really kind of the basics. I'm going to double up these lines, the skeleton lines. I'm going to double them up when I use my marker. So let's get started. I'm going to outline with my marker. So this step is optional if you don't have a Sharpie marker, or you just want to get into coloring it without having an outline. You don't need to do that. If you can see how I doubled up those lines there, so the lines of those bones in the bat's wings. So because I noticed that there was a difference in color where those lines are and the other part of the wings. So now I'm going to get started with some coloring. So I'm using markers and pencil crayons, and you can use whatever you have access to. So I noticed that in the picture there is some kind of pinkish color in certain areas on the bat, and so those areas are the wings, the nose, and the ears. So I colored the nose pink, and then I'm doing the top of the ears pink because it looks kind of like the light is shining through the bat's ears and it makes them look pink. And I'm gonna pick a gray pencil crayon and I'm gonna color the bottom part of the bat's ears gray, and I'm gonna kind of blend those two colors together, which we did a little bit in our earlier drawings. So we're gonna color the bottom part and blend with the pink. Let's zoom in a bit closer so we can see a little bit better. So how I blend the colors is I basically color over top of the gray with the pink a little bit, and then I take the gray and I color over top of the pink a little bit. And it gives that little space in the middle between the two colors where they kind of blend together. There you go. All right, so I'm going to switch over to a marker, pink marker. And I've noticed that there are some pink areas on those bones. So I'm going to just do a little line of pink. I'm not going to color the whole area pink. I'm just going to do a line of pink along there. And actually I'm going to do that on the ears too, just to, looks like, to make those pinks match a little bit. Obviously I have different colors than you have, so do whatever works out for you, and just kind of use the reference image as your guide. Base it on what you can see in that picture. And remember what we learned in the earlier videos about how we can layer pencil crayons and markers, and we can add something that looks fuzzy like fur or texture. We can make something that looks smooth or reflective. So kind of think about that and make sure that what you're choosing to do is on purpose in your drawing. You're making choices on purpose based on what you're observing in the reference image. So I'm going to go ahead and speed up a little bit, and I'm just coloring in the areas of the bat's sort of skeleton that are gray now. So as you can see, I'm going to choose a lighter gray for the bat's body. And I've kind of went over it with some pencil crayons to try to make it look furry, because the bat's body is more fuzzy. And I've picked a darker gray to be the color I'm going to choose for the bat's wings. All right, let us speed up the wing coloring, and we will meet back for just a little bit more detail adding when we're all done. All right, just like in our earlier videos where we used the white pencil crayon to make a reflection, we're gonna try that with this video as well. So I don't know if you've noticed those, I don't know what they are, but those lines on the bat's wings, and it looks very textured. It looks kind of like if I were to draw some crisscross horizontal lines and then vertical lines on top. So I'm going to just use my white pencil crayon to recreate those lines. And then I'm also going to use some gray pencil crayon to make the bat's body look a bit more furry. And then I'm all done. Thanks for watching.